I'd like to start by giving an overview of legislation that we've passed this 2013 legislative session, and then if there's some remaining time after the other presenters have presented, then I'll address any legislation that I think would be important during the upcoming legislative session. So I thought a good way to kick off this presentation would be to start with a pop quiz. You all have just had lunch, so why not have a pop quiz? I said pop quiz and I saw a few people tense up. I did. But this is real easy. This is a real easy pop quiz. How many people remember the nursery rhyme, Old MacDonald Had a Farm? Raise your hand. All right, let's see if you really remember it. I'm going to start it off. This requires some audience participation. You all chime in. Ready? Here we go. Old MacDonald had a farm.
E-I-E-I-O.
Very good. And on this farm he had some ducks. Okay. All right. I see that you all do remember that nursery rhyme. Well, Farmer MacDonald had his I's and his O's down pat, didn't he? If we continued to see the nursery rhyme, we'd see that Farmer MacDonald had his I's for industry, his O's for opportunity, and Farmer MacDonald definitely had his E's, didn't he? On his farm, Farmer MacDonald had a lot of energy. And here in Mississippi, that's what we have. We have a lot of industry, opportunity, and energy. And that's what we're here to talk about this afternoon, energy. Now, when I think about energy legislation, I think about two things. Number one, how is the legislation going to impact my constituents and the residents in the state? And also, how is the legislation going to attract companies to locate here or to expand in the state? And so now I want to ask you, what do you think are some of the ways that legislation can incentivize your business? What do you think are some of the ways legislation can incentivize your business? Now, you all know I went to law school, so I'll rely on the Socratic method if I have to. I'll call on people. William, what are some of the ways you think legislation can incentivize your business?
Tax incentives.
Tax incentives, very good. Let's see, who else is in the audience that I see? Russell, what are some of the ways that you think legislation can incentivize your business?
Not only tax incentives, but tax cuts.
Tax cuts, okay. Who else do I see? Worth.
Revision of regulations.
Revision of regulations. Those are all very good answers. Well,
Low-cost energy.
Low-cost energy. I like that. Very good answers. Well, this 2013 legislative session, the Mississippi legislature passed 46 bills that dealt with energy and the environment. Now, when Governor Bryant gave his State of the State address, his very first one, I might add, Governor Bryant said, and I quote, "When it comes to energy innovation, my administration will lead by example," end quote. Governor Bryant has made energy a priority in the state of Mississippi. And ladies and gentlemen, I must admit it's very refreshing because Governor Bryant gets it. He understands and he knows that energy is very important to the state of Mississippi. So what did the Mississippi legislature do to make energy a priority in our state? We passed House Bill 1296, the Mississippi Energy and Sustainability Act, which what it does is that it tasks the Mississippi Development Authority, the Energy and Natural Resources Division, with promoting Mississippi as a leader in energy development, job creation, and research. It also tasks the Energy and Natural Resources Division with creating the Mississippi Energy Plan and the State Energy Management Plan. Now, I had the opportunity to have lunch with Karen Bishop. Karen is the director of the Energy Natural Resources Division. Karen came to lunch loaded, literally, arms full of material and information that she wanted to give me so that I could see what the Energy and Natural Resources Division was doing to promote Mississippi. Now, Governor Bryant the House members and the Senate members, we're all terrific ambassadors for the state of Mississippi. Really, we are. But I also think that it's good to have another arm, such as the Energy and Natural Resources Division, to promote our energy resources. I had the opportunity to talk to the Mississippi Development Authority about Mississippi's economic development. We talked about how we can attract major companies so that they could realize the benefit of our energy resources supply. Now, Yokohama Tire and other companies who are interested in, for instance, in the Tuscaloosa Marine Shell, which is in my legislative district, I might add. These companies want to know the bottom line costs for locating to Mississippi or other states, I might add. So, what did we do? I can remember back in January of this year, Joe Sims came to my office. Joe said, "Madam Chair, I think what we need to do is lower the severance tax rate on horizontal drilling." After much prayer and consideration, what we ended up with is the severance tax reduction bill. And now, if a company is extracting oil and gas from a horizontally drilled well, the severance tax is 1.3% instead of the 3.0% for a period of 30 months or until the well pays out. Now, I'm sure Joe had a well-traveled path from my office to Senator Terry Burton's office. Senator Terry Burton is my counterpart in the Senate. He's the Senate Energy Chair. And he also traveled to the governor's office. And I see quite a few other people in here who I could call out who has well-traveled paths. Russell, Worth, Giff, other people. Worth, for instance, thinks that every client that he has an energy issue. But that's what it takes to get things done, is to collaborate with each and every one of us to share ideas. So we passed this bill, and I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because I have the Tuscaloosa Marine Shell in my district, I really enjoyed working on this bill because I got a chance to work with my vice chairman, who's here in the audience, Representative Gary Staples, and other members of the Energy Committee who are sitting in the audience, working with my counterpart, Senator Terry Burton, and other members of the Senate. It was quite enjoyable to get this piece of legislation onto the floor and get it into the governor's hands so that he could sign it, and I think we're going to see great results as a result of having this bill enacted. We not only wanted to do something for the companies, we also wanted to make sure that Mississippi communities had a stake in economic development. So what did we do? We passed the Energy Revolving Loan Fund. As a result of the Energy Revolving Loan Fund, Mississippi communities, say for instance in Harrison County or Jackson County or Emmett County, they can now invest in energy infrastructure if a company is located in Mississippi and they invest more than $50 million in economic development. So this piece of legislation is going to be a tool to attract companies to either locate in Mississippi or to expand in Mississippi. The next thing that we thought about doing is how can we enhance energy efficiency? Now, you probably saw Patrick Sullivan, who was a moderator on a panel earlier this morning. Patrick Sullivan is the executive director of the Mississippi Energy Institute. Patrick loves to talk about energy consumption. In fact, as a little bit of a challenge, what you should do if you see Patrick roaming in the halls, when you see Patrick, you should ask Patrick, how much energy did you consume just sitting here today, and let him tell you the answer. But as a result of having these conversations with Patrick and the Mississippi Energy Institute, which is a great resource for the state, by the way, these conversations are spinning off into other conversations about energy conservation and how we can protect the environment. So what we did was pass two companion bills in the Mississippi legislature that dealt with energy efficiency for state-owned buildings and also commercial buildings, so that now these buildings have to be built pursuant to ASHRAE 2010 codes. And the Energy and Natural Resources Division is conducting trainings pursuant to these codes. And we all know how important education is, especially when it comes to energy. So, did you all know that Mississippi has some of the most renowned energy experts right here in our state? They're located in our research institutions, and we wanted to make sure that this fact was widely known throughout the country. So what we did was pass the SMART Act. The SMART Act. So if a company is located in Mississippi and they partner with an institute of higher learning, say a Jackson State, go Tigers, by the way, or a Mississippi State, or USM, University of Southern Mississippi, or Ole Miss, then that company can defray up to 25% of its eligible research or development costs. So, in just 1 year, we were able to pass legislation that dealt with promoting energy development, incentivizing economic development, enhancing energy efficiency, and education. Governor Bryant, Speaker Philip Gunn, and members of the House, as well as Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves and members of the Senate, we are all here for you, and we really want to make your lives and your jobs easier. Honestly, we really do. So I look forward in the time remaining to talk to you about legislation that I think that we can pursue in the upcoming legislative session, and also talking to you during the break about ideas that you may have for legislation. Thank you.
Yeah.